All right, episode 9, Mansformation podcast. Today we are talking about morning routines that actually boost testosterone, boost energy and set you up for the day. I'm going to start by going through a little bit about my morning routine and what I've been doing. So my morning routine, I got to get my first clients at 5 in the morning, most of the days. So, okay, so my morning routine is going to start at 4 a.m. My first clients at 5. So I used to get up at 4:30, roll out of bed, quick shower, straight into work. But I feel so much better for actually getting up 30 minutes earlier and actually doing a proper routine. So one of the big things for me, and again, there's different things in the morning routine. It's got to serve you. It's got to be quite an individual thing, I think. One of the things for me is hydration. I feel so much better. I feel so much alive. I feel more focused when I hydrate properly. There's less chance of me wanting to reach for coffee and reach for that caffeine and like I'm trying to drag myself into the day. When I start with my shaker of water, my electrolyte tablet, 700ml, down we go, I feel so much better, mentally clearer, sharper, more energy. That's got to be a non-negotiable for me every single day. Okay, I'm not leaving that house until I've had that water, and that's absolutely huge. So I take it to my office. And I sit there, I've got a red light lamp, so I've got that going. And while I'm doing that, I'm also journaling. Okay, this is something new that I've started. Like I said, whether it's working, whether it's not, it's very, very new to me. But it certainly is, I believe, helping me to become much more productive through the day because I'm being very intentional about what I'm doing. Okay, the way that we set goals, and I talked about this at the live event, taking my big goal for the year and breaking it down into smaller chunks and eventually breaking it right down into daily actions. And if I can actually make sure that that's in my journal and I know what I'm doing, it means that the actions that I'm doing for the day are aligned with the big goals. And that's really, really important. I'm not just being busy and being a busy fool. I'm actually making sure that the stuff that I'm going to do that day is leading to the bigger picture for me. So I'm journaling, I'm reviewing, I'm actually doing things like, a little bit of gratitude, if you like, inside there as well, which I thought was a bit hippie-ish to start with. But actually, and you're thinking, well, could I write that down? Is that a win? But these small wins that you have, they do compound and they do actually make you think, actually, you're doing all right and you don't get as down on yourself and stuff like this. So, because that's easy to do. So, potentially it's working, but that's something I'm just trying. So we've got the red light, the journaling, the hydration. The next thing for me is to go and jump in the shower before I go off to work. Now, I feel so much better when I do cold plunges, all right, when I do the cold baths. At the moment, because this is something that I'm just getting back into, genuinely I don't feel ready to jump into that. So I am maybe being a bit of a baby with it, because for 3 minutes in that bath, I feel incredible for in a cold bath, I feel incredible for hours afterwards. Okay, and that's something that I want to build back up to. But maybe I suppose I'm giving myself permission to kind of ease myself into it, because I'd rather jump in a cold shower every day for the next couple of weeks and then progress on, as opposed to say I'm going to do something like the cold baths and then just not do it the next day, and that'll piss myself off that I'm not doing what I said I'd do. So, like you say, jump in the shower. Whack it on cold shower. I've hydrated, I've had my cold shower, I've had my red light, I've set my intentions for the day with my journal, and now I'm ready to go. And this is all before 5 o'clock. So that for me is mine. Now, there's other ways that you can do it. You could do it with adding exercise and stuff like that. Great. But because I train at normally 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't really feel like I need to add exercise into there, because I'm straight out the door, I've got clients to do, and then I will still get my movement and my training in regardless, because that's already locked in. So that's a little bit about mine. Have you got anything yourself, mate, that you do?
Well, like you say, for me, it's just not jumping straight onto the laptop. Obviously, I think being predominantly a laptop worker, obviously not doing in-person stuff, when you get there, you're just straight into it and you've got no time to think. So it's like having them structures around, like you say, no coffee, because that's one thing I feel a huge benefit for if I go straight to the kettle, just because it's in the routine, that then you're just not letting your body wake up properly. So hydration, try to stay off the laptop for at least an hour and just let myself come round, let myself wake up. Ideally, getting out for some form of steps, whether it just be short around the block. Obviously, it is a little bit harder sometimes, obviously, with the weather, but they're the main things for me, really. But doing, like, I think obviously important, just listening to yourself then, is just doing what's right for you. So it's like you're taking advice of what's good, but you're also only taking on board what you can, aren't you?
And I'm also building it around what my current lifestyle allows. I would love to get out and have a walk in the morning. All right. You know, the live event that we did the other month, Joris was speaking about the importance of getting out, getting that morning light and stuff like that. And I know, you know, in this country, this time of year, it's going to be pitch black at 4 a.m. anyway. So this is why I use the red light machine anyway. But, you know, I would love to be able to do that. But realistically, that doesn't align with my lifestyle. And I can't just tell all my clients to piss off because I want to go for a walk in the morning. All right. Because that pays the bills, right? Yeah. So I've got to do and kind of a little bit of give and take. So, you know, I think there's some people that say, well, that, you know, I couldn't get up at this time. I couldn't do that. Okay, but what can you do? Yeah. You know, there's something you can do that's going to set you up for the day better. And like you say, if I could go for the walk, if I could get the morning light, if I could sit on the porch and have the morning coffee and jump in the ice bath and, you know, like you said, you know, like just have time to spend a lot of time on the morning routine, great, I'd do it. But it's not actually viable.
But you're doing the most important thing, you're meeting you at where you're at. So it's like very interesting, obviously, when you were talking about the ice bath, like you'd love to do that. You're not going, well, I've got an ice bath and I'm not going to be able to do it. So I just walk. You're kind of going, well, how can I dip my toe in that and see the benefits? And then at some point you will have the exposure to go, that's the next best thing for me.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like you say, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like we talk about people with the training sessions and stuff like this. Well, I can't go to the gym 3-4 days a week. You said it before. You can go once. You could do a 30-minute bodyweight workout. You could go for a walk for 20 minutes. There's something you can be doing, and that is more important than trying to get everything absolutely perfect. It's the same with the morning routine. Yeah,
like you say, and too many people do strive for perfection over progress and trying to increase and, like you say, better in your day going forward. Like, it's not going to be 100%, and when you start improving, you're also going to see other flaws, which you're going to then only improve on again and again and again.
I did do for a while. There was like a little app, I think it was, and it was a lot of like calisthenics and stuff like this, and a lot of bodyweight stuff. And you know, I tried to implement that. Didn't really feel like I needed it overall because of the amount of training that I'm actually doing. But again, just some bodyweight stuff. If you are the sort of person that doesn't move around a lot and you are struggling to really, you know, get your training in, some of these workouts are like 10-minute long. You know, that's all it was. It was just some bodyweight stuff for 10 minutes. And, you know, I really enjoyed it. But again, when I looked at the time that I've got and what's actually important to me, that was something that I could take away because I've got my training locked in later on in the day. So that wasn't a problem to me. But like you say, you've got to look at what a morning routine should do. And for me, it should provide energy. That's the main thing. Okay, it should provide energy and certainly a level of clarity on what you're doing. Okay, and some people like to meditate on a morning and stuff like that. It's cool, you know. If that's your thing, and I suppose journaling's a form of that, isn't it? It's getting your thoughts out and, you know, focusing on what you want to do. So, you know, it's definitely useful, but for me, meditation is not going to go in there. Okay, because again, I think I get enough from the journaling. But he certainly wants to increase energy. My morning routine wants to increase energy, and I believe that it does by providing by making sure I'm hydrated. That cold shower gives you energy. I've never had a cold shower and gone, oh God, I still really need that coffee. Yeah. You don't. It energizes you. Okay, so like that's one of the things that I want it to, and I want it to also reduce stress. And again, a lot isn't about the cold water therapy and how that can help to reduce stress, and help you. Just sometimes doing something that's a little bit tough, like turning that bloody shower to cold and just blasting yourself for a minute, is tough to do. But doing tough things, it provides that springboard for you to go on and do tough things throughout the rest of the day. I know one of the things that when I did a fast, it reminded me a lot of being in prep, because, you know, you're fasting, you're not eating for maybe 2, 3, I think I did 4 days, then I did 96 hours at one point. It's tough and it's hard and you can't just do what you want to do. And that reminded me a lot about prep, but sometimes that's life as well. And I think sometimes you set yourself up with things like that are tough and that are challenging. It makes you realise that actually some of the things that you moan about and think are hard actually aren't that tough.
Your morning routine, so obviously when you said about the 4:30, how far do you, like, in minutes, how far do you live from the gym?
I can get there in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's like for you to get ready, get showered, get there, you're pushing it fine 90 for that 5 o'clock client. So it's like straight away, any morning routine, whether it be meditation, whether it be journaling, whether it be red light therapy, should push you and bring you into your day in the most natural state and calming state possible. So it's like they're all really good for you. And how do you feel with your first client, other than like previously when you were just kind of rushing around from 4:30 and rolling in?
My client gets a better version of me when I do this. All right, so I almost feel like I owe it to my clients. You know that doing the morning slots, the 5 a.m, the 6 a.m. I actually owe it to them to show up at my best, and that means that I have to go to bed half an hour earlier so I can get up half an hour earlier. I have to be bothered to not just hit snooze and roll over and it's nice and warm in here, especially now, right? It's bloody freezing, it's Baltic, and the thing that I want to do is have another half hour because I'm cozy at that point and I'm sleepy but actually what's best for me to get my ass up, get this routine done, and walk out the door actually quite buzzing, as opposed to dragging myself there going, oh God, what another day, I've got a bloody horrible day today. It eliminates, for me, a lot of the things like the cold water and that, like it eliminates these negative thoughts as well. Maybe there's a link in there, I don't know, but for me it does. If I'm hydrated, I'm thinking clearer, my mindset's better. If I've done the cold water, I've shocked myself, I've woke myself up, and I am ready to take the day on.
I think when you start them days in the wrong manner, like rushing into it, snoozing your alarm, or just rushing around, can't give yourself enough time, or missing your morning routine, I personally don't think you recover from them. I think you're always chasing your ass in that day, whether it be working or whatever, or clients or whatever you might be doing. I just think you're kind of treading water that day, and I think it just makes it very, very hard to manage. Yeah,
and again, it's not. Sometimes it's not the things that you do; it's the things you don't do. If you're rolling over, you're picking your phone up and you're starting your day scrolling, or you're jumping straight into work emails or something like that, and you're causing yourself levels of stress. You wake up at 5 a.m. and jump into your work emails. What can you do about it at that time? Nothing, because no one else is up reading their emails. They're all still asleep. So you're causing yourself all that stress. There's nothing you can do till probably 9 o'clock. But now you're going to stew on it for the next few hours. So sometimes it's like that could have just been, you could have just shelved that till later on, and you've actually had a bit of time in the morning to work on yourself and work on your state, and like you say, be calm, start the day in the right way, and just, like you say, ease yourself into the day and feel good about it.
I don't know if you've told me that before. There is someone at the moment, they're quite a big entrepreneur, and they don't respond to work emails before 11. I know that's quite a nice luxury to have, but he says there's nothing within my business that deters my attention before that, and then he's set his life up to go take kids to school, go train. So he's like, when I get to work, I have nothing else that needs my attention, and I can just give that my all. And like, people jump on, I need to go to the toilet, I need to go do this, I need to go get showered, and then it's back to the open loops, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. And like I say, and that whoever that is, that's one of the guys that I've probably been speaking about before, that's personal to their lifestyle. That works for them. And this is the thing, isn't it? A morning routine should work for you. You shouldn't take my morning routine and go, I'm going to just copy that because that sounds like it's really good. Like you said, I got a lot of this from the book, The Miracle Morning. But that routine that I've just said there is not in The Miracle Morning. There's other stuff in there as well that they say you should do. But that just doesn't work for me at this present point in my life. So again, it's making it personalised to you, isn't it? And it's making sure that it works for you and it serves you. I think there's, like I said, there's certain things in there. I've got the red light in there, which is great. If I could get more sunlight, a walk in the morning light, that'd be bloody perfect. But can't always happen. There might be some days that it can happen, and I'll absolutely put it in because I know the benefit of that. I remember I went down to see sunrise at the beach one morning, and I was just there. I thought, do you know what? I'll have a little stretch. Kids were playing off in sand and that. Like, the sun was just coming up, and I was having a little bit of a stretch, and I could see that light was on me. I'm having a stretch. I'm moving a little bit, and I can totally see why people want to start the day with movement and like to do yoga on the beach and stuff like this. Don't they? Great way to start your day. Well, I just can't get to the beach every day to do that, So every now and then when I can, I absolutely will take advantage of stuff like that and starting my day like that because I felt incredible. But I just can't do that all the time.
And that's the thing, innit? Experiment with certain things, whether it be sunlight, whether it be hydration, whether it be strength training in the morning, your breakfast. These things are meant to build you up and push you into your day, not pull you away from it. So if something's there just because Stu said it or you've seen someone on Instagram say it, if it don't work, get it out, and then put something in, and you find your list and your checklist of what you need and just keep it in.
I think if you are the sort of person as well that is struggling to train, and I said before about like I've done these little calisthenic 5-minute workout stuff like that, and it really did work. But it's almost like you say, a bit of a primer, isn't it? It just gets the body going, it gets it fired up. And I think that if you're maybe someone that trains on an afternoon or an evening, like you say, because I'm training early doors anyway, I don't feel like I need it, and I felt I'd be more beneficial the time that I've got putting it into something else. But if you're training on an evening, or you are, not training at all, starting there with someone like that, some bodyweight squats, a bit of plank, some push-ups, some crunches, some basic stuff, doesn't cost any money. It's completely free. You just do it in your bedroom floor or the front room carpet or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like wherever you can get a bit of space. Something like that, whether it's that, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of a walk, something like that is gonna definitely help set you up for the day.
Like you say, if you're going down and making a coffee, how long does it take for the kettle? You can jump down and do 20 press-ups, can't you? 30 press-ups. And it's utilising the dead time, innit? When you're waiting for something to happen, that you could just do something that will help you.
Yeah, definitely. So, there's other things as well people can put in there as well. Reading. Some people like to have a bit of a read, don't they? So like say alongside a bit of meditation or reading a page a day or whatever it might be. Listening to a podcast maybe, so that could be part of your morning routine if that helps you, or listening to an audio book. And again, you could be doing that while on your walk or whatever it is. There's so many different things that you can do that's going to start your day in the right way. It is just a case of picking the right things for you, the right things that are going to serve you, and the things that genuinely fit in, that it shouldn't be too challenging. I know I can get through that morning routine in about 20, 25 minutes. And I know that if I get up at 4 a.m, I can get that in easily. If I make it too challenging, if I make it too, close to where I've built a 60-minute routine and I've got to get to work for 5, I'm not going to get everything in, right? And I'm going to make it too challenging, I'm going to fail, and that's going to affect my confidence. So if I make something that's actually quite easy to do to start, such as the cold showers as opposed to the cold baths, it builds confidence, it builds routine, it builds habit. And then, like you say, you can start to layer them things on as you go.
There's a book by Ryan Holiday called Stoic, and that's a page a day, and that's obviously trying to push people to just do something. I think for me, as a general information thing of just try to get away from devices, because there's not much positive, especially the stuff that you're reading. If someone's reading something calming or doing an audio book, then yeah, turn it on. But social media, the news, all things that are going to drive your cortisol through the roof when it should be at its natural lowest peak. Yeah.
So that's our take on morning routines. That's a little bit about mine and James' morning routine. Hopefully that's give you some ideas to go and create your own morning routine that suits you, that suits your lifestyle, gives you what you need right now. And go try it out. Cheers.
Thank you.